Warning, this story may contain mature content as it deals with foul language and sexual content mentioned. Viewer discretion is advised. This is dedicated to the one and only Alan Rickman, who portrayed the role of Severus Snape in the Harry Potter series. Alan sadly passed away at the age of 69 from pancreatic cancer on January 14, 2016. His role as Severus Snape was so memorable and perfected. No one can replace him as Severus Snape, nor as an actor. He is very loved by thousands of people, colleagues, friends, fans, and his wife. He is deeply loved and missed always. Continue to rest in peace, dear Alan. Part 1. Unfolded events of the relationship. How did it come down to this? How did it come down to hating the man I once loved dearly? Everything once seemed perfect. Everything seemed fine. But was I just too innocent and blind to see the truth before? The truth that lay behind his dark eyes. The truth of what he won't be honest to me about. Was it because I was attracted to him in a way that couldn't be explained? Feelings that are beyond either of us to comprehend. The way that I fell in love with him. Was it the way he struts down the hallways at Hogwarts? The way he talks with his deep voice? Those mysterious eyes that are so hypnotizing to stare into, or how yummy his body looked underneath his robes and cloak as it flowed with him when he walked? Or was it the way with words as he spoke, and I could listen to him talk for ages? However it may seem, I fell hopelessly, completely, stir-crazy, and unconditionally in love with him. The man who's the head of Slytherin House and the potions teacher is now the headmaster. Ever since my 4th year, I fell in love with my teacher. Bloody hell, I still am. But alas, everything seemed to suddenly change fatefully one day. Right before my eyes, and I couldn't believe it. I knew that it was bound to happen sooner or later. I couldn't stop it no matter how hard I tried or wanted to. You're never prepared for death. My father, Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore, was once the headmaster of Hogwarts Witchcraft and Wizardry. Tragically, his life was cut short by the killing curse done secretly under the orders of Lord Voldemort. Apparently, my father knew what was going to happen, but it was a moment I didn't see coming, and it would stay in my mind for a long time. Oh, sorry, where are my manners? Let me introduce myself. My name is Paige Dumbledore, and I'm Albus Dumbledore's daughter, the only child my father ever had. We had such a close and unique bond as father and daughter. He kept to himself with his secrets, of course, but they were parts of him that he let me see and know of. My mom was killed under Voldemort's orders when I was a baby with me as a witness, so I never got to know her well. He would talk to me about her and tell me stories throughout my life, along with sharing some photographs of her he saved for me to keep. This made my dad grew closer to me as I grew up because all we had was each other. It seemed like he cared about my mom and was heartbroken when she was killed. This is why his death hit me the hardest out of everyone else besides Harry. Anyway, what most students and staff didn't know about Dad's death was that I witnessed it down below with Harry. The only ones who know are Harry and Severus. Not even my dad knew that I was hiding with Harry, hearing everything that was going on. I remember that Harry had his wand out, ready for defense to stop Draco from killing my dad. For some background information, I had spent the night earlier with Harry and my dad, as he wanted me to join him and Harry. I don't know why, at first. He needed Harry's help, not mine. All I knew was that they were on the hunt for a Horcrux that Dad knew about, and he knew how to find it. He wanted me to join him and Harry on his little adventure because it would probably be the final time I got to be with him before he died. I don't know how Dad knew he would be killed, but he did. But that's how I got to be where I was, standing beside Harry, hiding in secret. The last words Dad said quickly to me before we left that he loved me with all his heart. Of course, I had said I loved him back always and left with Harry pulling my hand. Tears were falling down my face. Draco and the other Death Eaters came in a couple minutes after we returned. My father was a brilliant, brave man and a great father. He shouldn't have died that way. Although it wasn't Draco who had used the killing curse on Dad. He didn't have the guts to use the spell. The person who stepped into the job is the man I've been in love with. I like to call this person my now ex-boyfriend and my first love, Severus Snape. I shared some information before, but let me tell you some more. See, Severus and I realized our feelings for each other during my 5th year, but couldn't do much about it because Umbridge was taking over Hogwarts. What made it even worse for me with Umbridge is that I was Dumbledore's daughter. Bloody hell, how that woman tortured me. I hate to think about it now. I don't want to say how angry my dad was for Umbridge hurting me. Anyway, Severus and I ended up calling it official after Umbridge stopped taking over Hogwarts up until after Dad's death. Before we admitted our feelings, it was me excelling well in potions over the years until sooner or later, Severus became impressed and interested in me. Taking it back now to that awful night of Dad's death, Harry and I were so angry and filled with sadness about what happened to Dad. Harry disappeared for quite a long time after we first mourned Dad's death by his body. Sometime that evening, Harry returned to Hermione, Ron, and me, explaining everything that happened. Apparently, we came to find out that Severus was the Half-Blood Prince, the owner of the book that Harry had during his 6th year. Yes, the man I dated for that long didn't even bother to tell me, his girlfriend, that he was the Half-Blood Prince. Later on, after all of that, I decided to walk around Hogwarts to find Severus myself and confront him about everything. I couldn't believe that Severus kept so many secrets from me that entire year somehow, yet the biggest one was the one I was most surprised about. I was so upset with him that we ended up getting into a fight not too far from Hagrid's hut, close to the nearby woods. I remember that whole night like it was yesterday. Flashback. I was running around outside looking for Severus like I did half of the time nowadays. He seemed to disappear a lot around me, especially when I was trying to see and have alone time with him. Things changed for us. We were beginning to fall apart somehow. I didn't want to lose him, and Dad warned him. But now he's about to lose me completely. I soon found him with Wormtail and the other Death Eaters not too far from Hagrid's hut just near the woods. I felt terrible for poor Hagrid because his Death Eaters destroyed his hut from being on fire. And that hut was his home too, after all. I was always aware of the dangers of dating Severus, but I didn't believe he would become evil and join their side. I didn't know he would become a Death Eater once more and get close to Voldemort, my arch-nemesis. The man that's behind all of this turmoil, the man I hated the most. I shouted his name loudly in the distance, Severus! I walked fast towards him with pure rage and hurt in my eyes, tears forming and wanting to fall. He should know by the tone of my voice and actions that I'm mad. From what I had just learned from Harry, I had every right to be so angry at this man. I mean, this is the man I dated and fell in love with, and at one point felt delighted with. I trusted him with every part of my being, and I care for this man. With my wand out, I lashed a spell on him without thinking clearly. It did nothing to him, like he just shrugged it off, but he didn't fire back at me with one. What are you doing out here, Paige? He asked. I didn't respond as I looked behind Severus to see Wormtail watching us closely behind him. He turned around and said coldly, Let us talk alone, Wormtail. Wormtail seemed to walk away as Severus turned back to me. So, you're the Half-Blood Prince, huh? Why didn't you tell me before, like earlier this year? I blasted. Because it's my past, Paige. I didn't think you needed to know. I'm your girlfriend, Severus. You're supposed to be honest and not lie. It's another secret you kept is all, really. Neither of us said anything for a moment, as I stated. You became one of them again and on their side. I truly can't believe it, Severus. You haven't been honest with me all year long. He walked to me saying softly, Paige, I can explain. I don't want to hear your self-pity now, Severus, of trying to take it back and apologize, along with knowing what I'm going through right now. My self-pity? Who was it again, shouting my name like a puppy dog, trotting along beside that Potter, trying desperately to save your father's life? It was then that I got pissed off. No one dares to talk about my father like that and think they can get away with it. There was no way this man would get away with blurting that out to me, of all people. Oh, don't you dare try to turn this around on me, on Harry, or even dare to talk about my late dad like that. How dare you? How dare you say that to me, Severus Snape? Do not forget who you're talking to. I'm Dumbledore's daughter, after all. Don't you forget whom you're talking to, Paige, he snapped right back. I'm your professor and headmaster now. Don't try and disrespect me. There was a pause until I stated, disrespect? You're the one who's disrespected me and been lying to me. Harry's my best friend, Severus. I told you like a million times already. Well, it doesn't matter anymore because he belongs to the Dark Lord now, Paige. You think you know everything. You don't. What's that supposed to mean? Either way, I don't care because I know Harry will make it. I can surely care less about where you end up. That's certain. Because you betrayed me in more ways than one, you selfish fucking bastard. What are you bloody saying, Paige? I'm saying that you betrayed my trust, Severus, and you also plainly lied to me. All this time we've dated, you lied about who you are, and what you do half the time, and more. You promised my father that you wouldn't keep me safe and would not be involved with Voldemort anymore. I promised you that, Paige, that I would try not to be involved with Voldemort anymore. Oh, bullshit, Severus. You know damn well what I mean. What else do you expect me to fucking do, Paige? The Dark Lord would have killed me in an instant if I had certainly betrayed him, let alone if he found out that I was in a relationship with you. He would have certainly tried to kill you, too. Good then, Severus. Let Voldemort try to come kill me now. He can't even if he tried because he's too scared to. But maybe then he would damn well care about someone or something other than you on your deathbed. You didn't seem to care before until now. Why, you insolent little brat. Before I knew it, Severus instantly fired a spell, shooting me hard to the ground. So, in return, and in shock, I stood up and fired back with a spell. Now he's testing me. We fought with spells and shot at each other for at least a few minutes. After a while, I stopped firing, tears forming and falling down my stained cheeks. You know what, Severus Snape? I started to say. I bloody don't care anymore. Go on and fucking be a Death Eater or whatever you want me to be or what you want to do. I don't want to be in any part of it. It's over between us, Severus. Are you saying you're breaking up with me, Paige? After everything we went through together, including how much I've done and risked for you? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, Severus. I'm not staying with you knowing all this information. I can't do it. It's too much. I'll be insane even to try and stay as your girlfriend. Slowly, he came close to me and slapped the side of my face, leaving a hand mark on my cheek. Without thinking twice, I shot a spell of his that I had learned from Harry. I did it so quickly that he'd even have time to react as it made him fall to the ground, surprise written all over his face. He wasn't expecting that now, was he? I knew he wouldn't be able to say anything back because he knew me way too well. I am a Dumbledore, and he knew I learned a lot from my father. He also knows how I get when I get angry enough. I walked to him with tears falling down my cheeks as I stared onto his face. Now you stay the hell away from me for a while, Severus Snape. You're nothing but a bloody, scared, lying coward, and that's all you'll ever be. Afterward, I walked away, leaving him in despair, surprised, and shocked. End of flashback. With no one around, I slid down on the edge of the wall in the Gryffindor common room and cried. Stay tuned soon for part 2 of this reading, and I hope you enjoy it.